Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I am your host, Tyrone Bridges. Let's get it. Yo, welcome. Happy New Year 2022. Happy New Year. I am your host, I thought you knew, Tyrone Bridges. And also, we have Attorney Bill Amadeo. Tyrone Bridges. And this is called Clear the Air Part 3.
What's going on, Ty? How's everything going?
Great, Bill. How about yourself?
Not bad, man. Been quite a little heat about yesterday's YouTube. I got taken down.
Oh,
that was interesting. Yeah, that was a case Trovius and I are working on, and things got a little heated. Apparently, YouTube was like, "Ooh, can't have that shit out there too long."
Yeah. Can you give us a little summary about what happened?
Yeah, there's a homicide case. Trovius Starr is the lead counsel, and one of the arguments is whether this young man was competent at the time an investigative subpoena was in place, and is he competent today? And there's a lot going on here. We have a young Black man from Ipsy with mental health issues who could be looking at life in prison. And there's a lot going into it. I will say Trovius Starr is the lead. He's doing a hell of a job. I'm just backing him up based on my trial experience. But it's one of those issues. It's a tough case from a lot of aspects because the prosecutor feels they have a victim involved. Somebody's deceased. Defense feels, number one, the individual may not be guilty. Number two, was there mental health issues leading to that? And it's kind of where we're at with things. The whole mental health awareness thing going on across the country right now is really is shaping Holden Washington. And one of the things we've been talking about, isn't the goal for everybody to make Washington better?
Yes, definitely.
That's our goal, right?
That's our goal.
So when we hear bullshit things going on or people talking trash, it's kind of confusing. We're supposed to be on the same team.
Yeah.
And I guess that leads us to some of the issues today. You came to my office not too long ago and you led me to a clip which stunned me. I was stunned. It was on Brian Foley's show. And I heard Nate Frazier say that the lawyers kicked him out of the office. And I will tell you, when I first heard that, because he was told about me, our office, I was really taken back by that whole thing. And let me, I said to myself tonight that me and you need to be doing more lives and stuff like that, but I'm going to try to take the high road as much as I can and not get Amadeo crazy on things. I'm going to be real, but I'm also going to try to be as professional as I can on this issue. Let me explain this about Nate Frazier, because I really cared for Nate. And I still wish Nate well. But what he said on Brian Foley's show was simply not factual. Nate was using my office free of charge. I was really moved by Nate because of the whole Grady L thing. I really felt Nate was a community leader. He still may be. We don't really talk anymore. But I really felt connected to Nate because he was the first person I've had an interaction with on the Grady L case. In fact, the first two people I had interactions with were Nate Frazier and Trisha Duckworth. Ironically, I don't talk to either one anymore. We'll get into that a little bit. But Nate was using our office for his podcast. Mr. Foley used it sometimes. I don't really know Brian Foley that well. And then Nate wanted to do a show in Detroit, and I financed it because I believe so much in Nate's message. Nate had told me that he was getting his, I guess it was a national radio show. I don't know what happened. I guess he got fired, but he had a national radio show. And he texted me and he said, "Hey, I'm not going to be using the office anymore." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, good luck to you. I hope things work out. And I'm happy for you." So he said on Brian Foley's show that after he was, I guess, terminated from the national radio show, he came back to the office and all his stuff was packed up. And then Brian Foley sarcastically said, "Oh, was this the lawyer on Packard Street?" Well, who's the lawyer on Packard Street? That's me. So let's be clear, and I showed you the emails. I emailed Brian Foley and Nate first said, "Guys, you know what? I was upset. Let me come on your show and let's talk about this." Brian Foley said he didn't want anybody of my character on his show.
What?
Now, yeah, he didn't want anybody of my character on his show. I'm gonna okay, here's where things get a little tough. Okay, I'm gonna try and keep it pro. My character, ow. Okay. I'm the character that's defending the Grady Elves. I believe in the cause. I'm the one that's defending Devon Ballard. I'm the one that Scott, despite having 292 active cases, is trying to do things in the Washington community when I don't even sleep at night. So if you're going to attack my character, I find that really confusing because I was one of the ones that was a leader during these protests in the summer. And I will tell you this, I believed what I was out there for.
Right.
I believed that Shatina and Dan should not have been brutalized by the police.
Right.
Now the cameras are off, right? Where are all these people that were protesting? Okay, I don't see Nate or Trichet doing anything for the Grady Elves right now. We're in circuit court. I'm fighting for the Grady Elves' freedom. I believe what happened to the Grady Elves was wrong, but something changed along the way. I will tell you this: if one thing that didn't change was me, I believed in the case then. I believe in the case now. I wouldn't have taken cases for Nate's family for free, and I wouldn't have given him sponsorship if I didn't believe in the message he portrayed this summer. Things turned, obviously. And here's my thing, and I always say this to you from day one: if you got a problem with me, come direct. Let's talk it out, man to man. But I certainly would not go on a podcast and talk shit about someone who's had your back. And when Trichet Duckworth came at me on a Zoom call and was attacking me, claiming that I was the white savior and all that stuff, dude, what do you mean white savior? Because if somebody is better than me that wants to take over the Grady L case, if you have that lawyer, let me know who they are. I'll get them my paperwork. We'll work as a team. I don't think anybody's lining up to take that job right now. I think some people may have thought there was some PR for them, but the reality is this was not about PR. This was about something bigger than us. This was about brutality of innocent Black people in Ypsilanti. The Bobby Reyes case was about an innocent Spanish child. And I do see that when there's a minority involved who's a victim, it's cool to be part of the process for a moment. But when that moment passes, nobody seems to give a damn. Where are all the people that were doing those protests this summer? Because last I checked, the case is still going on. Nate, if you're watching this, I wish you well. I hope things work out for you. I did not withdraw from cases on your family because I'm a man of integrity, unlike what Mr. Foley says about me. Mr. Foley, I think man to man, you should let me come on your show and hash it out. I don't think talking behind my back, which was a lie. Nobody kicked Nate Frazier out of my office. Nate Frazier said he didn't need the office anymore. I'm paying rent on that office, Ty, and I had no problem doing it. But if you're not going to use it, why don't I use it for something else? You know, if I had known that Nate was not going to have that show any longer, and he needed to use the office again, he could have called me and said that, but he didn't. I had no issues with Nate, and to this day, I really don't have issues with him or Trichet. I don't understand the animosity towards me because I felt in this summer that our goal was to make Washington a better place. I mean, I hope that we didn't change our feelings because the election's over, but you know, kind of makes you think.
Right.
And I would hope to God the Grady L's were not used for political purposes. But I can tell you, they kind of feel that way right now.
Right.
Before this case took off, I contacted the prosecutor's office and I contacted the sheriff's department. I said, look, guys, let's forget about all this. Let's work as a team to make these wrongs right. I wasn't asking for a big settlement for the Grady L's or anything like that. Let's try to make peace here. And nobody answered my email. So, okay, that's it. I'm a defense lawyer. I'm going to defend them, and I have been defending them, and I believe in them.
And you the last man standing.
I don't know what I believe this summer was all about right now, Ty, to be real with you.
Hmm.
I cared about Trisha and Nate because I thought we were all on the same team. I don't know how I got labeled a white savior, or how somebody's going to go on a podcast and say I kicked them out, or how somebody else who's a community leader is going to say I don't have character. If you say I don't have character, can you explain to me what you mean by that? Help me out on that one.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's do a round for him. Let's get everybody out on the table. But I've never taken a dime I didn't earn. I've always given back to this community. I fought for causes I believe in. To question my character, maybe I have a violent mouth on Facebook when I'm pissed off and passionate. I don't think that's my character. I think that's passion.
That's passion.
And I don't know. It was hurtful to hear those things. And I got to tell you, if you didn't tell me about it, I didn't even know about it. When you said that, Chris, I was like, hey, you're going to use that office. And you were kind of skeptical.
Shit. I was like, that's their office. I thought that was their office, man. I saw that clip was shared with me. I was like, really?
Let me ask you a question. And you're not one to pull punches.
No.
I mean, we're cool, but you're real.
Flat out.
Did you ever hear me say a bad word about Nate?
Not a word. You still
I was stunned.
him.
I was stunned. And prior to Trisha attacking me, I thought she was like a sister. I thought we were like brother and sister relationship there.
And you, bottom line, everybody might think what they want to think. From the beginning, you've been trying to bring us all together and all of us get on the same damn page.
And I will say this, and I'm playing things in my mind. I hope Eli Savitt does a good job for Washtenaw County. But the way Arian Slay was treated by certain people during that election was absolutely disgraceful. Because Arian Slay, in my opinion, is the most intelligent legal mind in our community. I think she's more knowledgeable than me. And she's the reason I'm not running for Washtenaw County Circuit Judge. Arian's running. I am behind her 110%. And I understand that politics is a full contact sport. I get that. But some of the attacks that were put in her family, some of the lies that were told during that election were disgraceful. We need Arian Slay on our circuit court bench.
Definitely.
And she would have made a damn good prosecutor, but maybe God had another plan. I don't know. But I will say this, having her on the bench will be a good thing. And I think we all should be working. If we really want what's best for Washtenaw, if we really want that, I don't want a judge who's going to say, Bill, you win your motions because you gave money to my campaign. No. And I don't want a judge who's going to say, well, you didn't vote for me, so fuck you, I'm not going to listen to your motions. I want somebody who's going to be objective and rule how they feel is best for the community. That's what I want. That's what Arian Slay is. That's what we need right now. Definitely. I have no problem with Judge Brown. He's retiring. I know there's a lot of rumors. There were a lot of lies. Let me tell you, man, that election, that was the craziest thing. You're not going to see an election like that for another 50 years.
I hope not.
And
I hope not, because that was a tricky election that could have caused an unnecessary war.
But if you vote for one candidate, and there was Hugo, there was Eli, there was Arian. Hugo's people were attacking Arian. Eli was playing politics. Arian was trying to run a clean campaign. And you know what happens when all your focus is on a clean campaign, you don't win.
No, you don't win.
And I hope this judicial election is a clean campaign, but I'll tell you what, Arian Slay is a person of integrity. You want to fuck with Arian, you could fuck with me this time around. Because if you tell me who is a better candidate than her, tell me who they are, tell me why. Because let me tell you why she is the best candidate, in my opinion. She's been a prosecutor. She's been in the wars. She started as a defense lawyer. She grew up in this community. Her husband and children are there. Her husband's a teacher. Arian Slay is what Washtenaw County needs.
That's right.
Tell me who's a better candidate.
Ain't
I
none
don't
out
give a
there.
shit.
Ain't none out
If
there
something,
thus far.
I haven't seen one.
No.
When everybody wanted, I probably could have made some waves based on the reputation, but let me tell you, I would not be as good a judge as her. I'm too pro defense. There's no doubt about that. I was born and bred to be a defense lawyer. Well, that's not what you want on the bench, Tyrone. You want somebody who's going to be more objective.
Yes, sir.
So I think in 2022, I'll do criminal defense. That'll be fine. We'll stick with that. But if the goal is to make Washtenaw better, why are we talking shit on podcasts about each other? Why are we working together?
That's it.
Let's feed hungry kids. Let's get kids clothed. Let's work getting that bus for that center. Let's work on people with mental health issues getting the help they need.
That's right.
Let's not just send people to prison because of a political agenda. And let's not let somebody off because of a political agenda.
No.
Let's be objective about everything.
And when we take that broom in the streets, we got to clean all trash up.
I agree. I saw your post about the prostitution thing.
That prostitution thing, yeah. I would love to have Ariane Slay on this show and talk about that story.
Tell me, what's the community's feeling on that? Because I'm actually not in touch with it. I saw
from my perspective, I mean, like I said, and from all the people that's been in Ipsy that I grew up with and elderly that's been around here, how are you not going to prosecute prostitution?
I mean, it makes sense to prosecute a crime, right?
Right.
I'm not saying prostitution's the crime of the century, but it's still a crime.
Yeah, it's a crime.
I guess, and as a defense lawyer, I'm biased towards defense, but here's my concern about not prosecuting prostitution. I think it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Because if we decide to prosecute some crimes, not prosecute other crimes, that's not what we're supposed to be doing as leaders of the legal community.
No. All it does is leave a gateway of other crimes to surface. Look at the situation with the PR bond. Now, if anybody in their right mind, in their sane mind, could ever come on the podcast show, any podcast show, any news show, and say what our PR bonds in Washtenaw County is doing to help our community, I would love to hear that story. I would even love to get the data of how many violators of PR bonds. Do they keep a record? I wish they did keep a record of the violators of the PR bonds so we can actually weigh that, because that's important. You're going to give a person PR bond that done something egregious to some citizen in Washtenaw County, but at the same time, they commit another crime on top of that PR bond.
As a defense lawyer, obviously, I'm always fighting for a PR bond when I got a client.
Now, that's what you're supposed to do.
Now, as a citizen of Washtenaw, though, I think we got to go to the bond factors. And the bond factors are going to look at, number one, is the individual a danger to the community? Number two, are they a flight risk? And then we look at their criminal history. We look at who the individual is, and we make a bond assessment there. What's confusing about the PR bond initiative to me is I've heard all about these PR bonds, but I also see arguments where no bond should be allowed at all. It's really random how that was even applied. And I'm a little confused why, and forget about criminal defense or prosecution for a minute. If you are a parent in Washtenaw County, the idea of a PR bond across the board is kind of a scary proposition, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody really committed a heinous crime and they're a danger to do it again,
you have to really think about that. I mean, that right there, that's like, I mean, that's wishful thinking. You hoping somebody to go out there and you give them a PR bond and hopefully they do everything they're supposed to do. But like I said, from watching all the court watching that I do, and you see the cases, and then the judge just more frustrated about the violations, the simple violations. Seeing many gun cases where A person's get out on PR bond with a gun case. Then they get caught with another gun.
Right. It's I don't think it's a one size fits all inquiry here.
No.
I really
No.
don't.
I do believe mental illness, they need to consider mental illness in a part of the bond factor if they want to really change some things.
Here's the problem with the mental illness thing, and this came up in question yesterday. 80% of people that are referred to the competency center are deemed competent. Now, I've had clients who are literally urinating themselves in court and not able to speak, and the competency center said, "Oh, they're good." There's
Somebody need to evaluate the competent.
Exactly. The standard in Michigan is so low. I mean, I had a doctor yesterday say, well, because the defendant knew that Dr. Martin Luther King was a civil rights leader, and because he knew there were 12 months in a year, that was really strong that he was competent. What?
Wow.
Holy shit. Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait. If that's the standard, that's fucking terrifying.
That's terrifying. Yeah.
You know?
We need to find out who that evaluator is and have his record checked.
Well, he's basically, this is a standard across this forensic center that they do not like to deem somebody incompetent. Now, that's more of a legislative issue, but the reality is this. If somebody cannot truly comprehend, if they can't form the mens rea, the intent to commit a crime, they may be a danger to society, but we need to put them in an institution.
Right.
We don't want to make them a pawn at the Michigan Department of Corrections if they truly have a mental illness.
Oh yeah, all it is just fresh meat to the higher criminals.
Because higher criminals are going to use and abuse this poor kid.
Oh yeah. This family gonna send him money if he got a family that care about him. He gonna have to send him money, and it might not be for him.
Exactly, and the standards. I mean, listen, you were inside. You know how the game goes.
Oh yeah, I ain't afraid to talk about it.
Now,
it's nightmares.
You probably seen some shit of some young kids walking in who couldn't defend themselves. What happened to those kids in the prison? I mean, wasn't positive, right?
They couldn't have no peace. They couldn't enjoy anything. They couldn't have nothing nice in their own place.
And I'm sure if there's sexual predators inside, they're going to be vulnerable.
Oh yeah. Now, hey, bottom line, they say if you going that way, you giving it up through the gate. Bottom line, because some of them just say, "Fuck it, I ain't gonna fight for it. I'm just gonna." Hey. Bottom line.
My fear as a human being, not as a defense lawyer, is if we put somebody who truly has mental health issues in the Michigan Department of Corrections, we're going to actually accelerate sexual abuse, physical abuse, and emotional abuse. That should not be happening.
In retrospect, you creating a monster.
Right. Now, if they're a danger to society, then we have to find an alternative form of incarceration, which would be like a mental institution. But we can't just throw them to the wolves.
You throw them to the wolves, they're going to be worse.
And how many people, you did time for something you shouldn't have done.
Right.
You came out as community leader. How many people have you seen come in to the prison system and have a productive life after? I think, what if we did a study on that? Where are we at with that?
Right. Wow. The doors of the penitentiary, the violators that when they get out on parole and they violate and go right back in for violations. I mean, knock on wood, I thank God that I had strong support network like my mom, because she was making sure I wasn't going back. And I got involved in helping the community. I mean, a lot of these people don't even have the wherewithal to even want to help somebody once when they get locked up. I mean, you got to have a little humility. A little humility. Huh?
Doesn't it beat you down? Doesn't
it beat you down mentally? Yes, it does. Because you survive. You're on survival mode. You going in there, and just imagine. I mean, everybody know I ain't 100%. I'm a French fry shy of a Happy Meal. I suffer from depression. I'm happy to admit that shit. I ain't gonna lie. I suffer from depression, but when I went in there, I was suffering from depression.
Right.
I had a history.
Were you able to get help inside?
Hell no. It was worse because I was in the manic stage at all times. I was on defense. Honest to God. It was like I went in there and if something was coming my way, I'm killing it. That's all I thought. I mean, I'm not going to sit there. We're not going to have this discussion. You're not taking my tray. You're not taking my nice things. If you come my way, I'm gonna have to fuck you up. It's not going to be a peaceful stay for you.
Understood.
And I'm not giving you my ass.
Right.
I don't do boys. Period. That was number one rule. I'm coming out the same way I came in. This was an accident, stay pimp. That's all I was saying. Y'all leave me the fuck alone. Well, I'll be an all-day situation for you.
As somebody who's seen it, how many kids did you see go in,
man,
that were forced into a lifestyle against their will?
Bruh, I mean, honestly, man, it's some kids that should not have been in quarantine. I'm saying seriously. I mean, they had kids up in there, man, that actually should have been in a damn mental hospital.
Right.
But I'm like, y'all little ass going up in here and y'all going up in there, y'all probably don't even have no plan.
Right.
And then you got groups, you got gangs, you got religious groups, you got Aryan Nation, you got the black groups, you got all of them up in there. They doing that. That's survival. A lot of these kids, that's where they get mentally torn because they're being taught different things. But like I said, the amount of stuff that they be taught in there, they come out literally like a time bomb. But see, society don't understand that when they get at that kid parole. When that kid get out parole, that kid gonna come out bitter or better. There's only two ways they're gonna come out, bitter or better. When they come out, and if they was getting money before, or if they was robbing people before, and if they bitter, shit, they might have some body counts.
I have a cousin who was a little on the, I guess he was on the spectrum, you know, and this is like late 80s. And I'm a little guy. He went inside for did some stupid larcenies. And he got like 2 years New Jersey Department of Corrections. Okay. So he goes inside. He was a troublesome kid, but it was never assaultive behavior. I'll be clear on that. He was a crook, little slow. When I say little slow, I mean his school records indicated he was slow. And by the way, the competency center, and this pissed me the fuck off.
Right.
We need to look at the educational standards of these kids.
Yep.
We need to look at their school records.
Yep.
We need to see how they were doing. Don't tell me you did okay on an IQ test so you're straight.
Right.
Study the whole fucking picture, please.
Start in middle school if you like. I mean, for real, middle school to give you a nice picture.
And I think back to my cousin, who's no longer with us. He went in, and he's a good-looking 20-year-old kid. What do you think's going to happen here? He got caught up with wise guys, mafia guys, and he did it for one reason. He said, I had to survive.
Yeah.
Well, as he's surviving in those 2 years, and I'm going to use a term from the movie Blow, he went in with a bachelor's in theft. He walked out with a PhD in drug dealing.
Mm-hmm.
And then his whole life was a cycle. It wasn't like, when's he going to be free? It's like, how much time is he going to be out before he goes back in? Eventually, he got out and got killed. Very sad situation. But I think a 20-year-old kid on theft charges, and Jersey's a little different than Michigan. They look at different type of scoring guidelines to just send a kid like that to prison. And actually, it's a death sentence. People don't realize that. It may not be a death sentence like the electric chair,
right?
And it may not be a death sentence at those 2 years, but there's a potential that you are sentencing somebody to death.
It's a slow death for real.
A slow death.
It is.
You know,
it is.
I had a kid, funny story. I recently had a case, I got dismissed, and this kid had some mental health issues. But before I got a hold of him, he did some bullshit charges like passing a bad check when he was a kid. And he did 12 years.
Damn.
because he kept fighting inside and they just kept flopping him.
Yep.
Now, what are you supposed to do in that situation? I mean,
when you keep on getting flopped, I mean, literally, when you are in the system, you're going through judges, you're going through 4-level judges. People don't understand. You got the cop that's going to get you and arrest you for the crime. That's the first judge. The second judge is going to be your sentencing judge. Well, a lot of them host them other ones you're going to see, preliminary examination, arraignment, all that other shit. Then you got the parole board.
right.
I said 3. Is you 3 right now? Parole board. You got to convince the parole board that you're sorry for your crime and you're ready to get released to society. They have to decide to give you a parole. That's your other judge. And your last judge is your parole agent. So you got 4 judges, but a lot of these youth out here don't understand. Oh, I'm gonna get into prison. No, believe it or not. When I got sentenced, those 2 other judges kept me, literally.
Right.
They flopped me. Parole agent was pissed off at me, sent me back to prison. Because she was pissed. She wanted me to work, and I went to Washington Community College.
So because you were in college, you did more prison time.
Wrote me 18 out-of-place tickets, told me that I was missing off my bunk. 18 damn days straight. Fabricated a lie. Miss Michelle Mann with her fat ass. Everybody know her. Everybody know who that parole agent is back in the day. That one right there was the one we hated. Then I got a beautiful parole agent when I came out, Tansy Cole. And she worked with me, bottom line. I got off a parole early because I was a model prisoner, bottom line. I said, I'm not going back. Y'all not gonna send me back. Whatever y'all want me to do, I don't give a damn. Y'all want me to work at Burger King? I actually worked at Big Boys, Elias Brothers. Then I went to Burger King when it was at Briarwood Mall. I was the manager out there. I'm gonna do whatever y'all say, just don't send me back.
Right.
And that's a lot of these youth don't understand. I mean, I try to explain to them my situation so they don't have to never go through it. But you're gonna have them judges that don't get no sex offense. You have a judge for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Register when you register. Honest to God, when you register,
it's
no matter how you get on it, you might have a situation with a couple year younger girl than you, and her mom might be mad, or her dad might be mad. You might be hit. Believe it. Y'all think about that.
What blows me away is if an 18-year-old has consensual sex with a 15-year-old, that's a CSC3 in Michigan. That's a 15-year felony.
Wow.
Now, there's a Romeo and Juliet aspect to that. Means if you're within 4 years, you can make that argument. But I will tell you this. A kid, a senior in high school, having consensual sex. I didn't say forced coercion.
Right. You ain't say take it. Right.
Consensual sex. And that kid's life could be ruined. Now, I will tell you, and I don't really consider myself old, and I didn't date freshmen. I was a senior, but that was the normal thing.
That was the normal thing, man.
That was the normal thing. The pretty freshman girls were into the junior and senior boys. And not talk about force or anything against their will, but today that's a CSC3. That's mind blowing.
Well, they're gonna have to rewrite the rules.
Yeah, the legislation's horrible on that.
Yeah, definitely.
But the end of the day, our goal is to make Washtenaw County a better place.
And we can't do it just mouthpiece. That's it. We can't. It's gonna take some hard work.
Take some hard work.
And dedication.
One of the things about the center that you volunteered, that we were involved in, the thing that got me about that was we do have to reach these kids before it's too late.
Yeah.
We need to reach these kids at a young age.
That's right.
We need to understand that's our most precious asset in Washtenaw County are these children.
That's all we got, man. I mean, they're going to be taking care of our old ass.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, I tell everybody, hey, they're gonna nurture us. They're gonna be our doctors and our therapists and things like that, for real.
if we don't look out for the younger generation, we're doing everybody a disservice.
Yeah.
And I think we need to put egos aside right now. Because if the goal was we don't want to see another Shatina Gradiel or Dan Gradiel getting beaten in Ypsilanti one day. We don't want to see a young man with mental health issues being told he's going to become vulnerable in prison. If we want to make these improvements, we need to be a team.
That's right.
And all these egos got to be put aside. And I will tell you, I think this will sound like I'm endorsing, but I am. I think Arian Slay is a step in the right direction towards that.
Definitely. Definitely. And just to go real quick back on the Gradiel case, man. You already know how I felt from the day one. Bottom line. I don't give a damn. I don't care if we was in Hazard County, USPA. I don't care. Tennessee, Alabama, I don't care. Cop, ain't no police officer. All the tools that you got in that belt should ever have to pick his hands up and put his fist on a woman. If I can't whoop my woman's ass, or if you can't whoop your woman's ass, ain't no cop should ever be able to put his hands on a citizen. And at the same time, this ain't no threat that I won't vote for Dana Nessler, because I don't think I want to vote for her any damn way, because she acts as if she can do interviews with other people and not us, because we're minorities over here with podcasts. But I'm just saying, the Attorney General really need to rethink this one, because if you really think about it, it could have been her ass in that position. Could have been her and her husband, and she getting beat, pummeled. And if she has a moral question to herself or asks a moral question to anybody around in her orbit, should a woman ever be hit by a cop like that? I ain't gonna say hit. It wasn't nice. It was beaten. It was beaten for real. And Dana, if you listening, for real, if you listening, if my ass was to hit my woman, or if you was to hit your husband or your wife, I'm just saying, I'm trying to be fair on both sides. You be locked up, or she'd be locked up. I'd be locked up.
I don't think any woman should ever be hit.
Period.
Under any circumstances.
Period.
Whether you have a badge, whether you have a gun,
period,
or if you have a penis, you shouldn't touch the gentler sex.
Period.
Case fucking closed.
And she should do the right thing.
And this is not just about black and white. This is also a gender issue. That Shatina was a woman that was beaten by a man. People are losing sight of that.
And you got all these people, and let me address these people who make these little sly ass comments on Facebook. See, let me do a little quick analogy real quick for these people who do this little sly shit. See, you're a keyboard gangster. See, what you do, you type shit, you make statements, and you hide behind the keyboard. See, what you need to be thinking about this. It ain't no color situation, because if it was your mama getting her ass whooped by that cop, you be right here, probably right up underneath either me or Bill, or up on top, saying the same shit. Ain't no damn cop. Or let me put it this way. We're not even going to rehash the case anymore. Ain't no attorney general, period, should press any charges against a citizen that ever been hit by a cop. Period. This is a learning lesson for everybody. Because if you think about it right now, there's cops being assaulted in Washtenaw County. It was a cop I saw on a case today, a cop being assaulted by a mentally ill person. That mentally ill person given probation. That cop is injured. She a female, Washtenaw County Sheriff Deputy. Now, if you think about it, he getting probation. Basically, he getting slapped on the wrist. And I'm not talking about the mentally ill, I'm just being factual. This woman shouldn't have been hit like that, shouldn't have been beat like that. So the Attorney General, if anything, the Washtenaw County Prosecuting Attorney's Office should be 100% behind the Grady Ills, just like they were when they was marching with them. And now you don't hear nothing but crickets from everybody that was out there proclaiming Black Lives Matter. I bought t-shirts. I wanted to get on there and talk shit, bottom line. But then I started seeing the movement go a little left field. Got a little suspicious. But what they did, they turned their back on the Grady Ills. Ellie Savage, I ain't gonna lie, you ain't my boy, your coward ass turned your back on that family, man. You rolled in on their damn coattail. You did. Victoria, I don't know nothing about your ass. Don't give a flying fuck about you. But Ellie, you wrong as fuck. You snuck in as a prosecutor with that hoodwink and bamboozle shit you did with these people, and now they turn their back on Bill. That's crazy, the motherfucker. But then what you did the ultimate disrespect to this family. You marched with him. You took the mic every time you got a chance to. Hot mic. They need your fucking help. You can't even send a damn, what do you call it? A messenger pigeon to Dana. Hey, sis, do me a favor, make this shit go away. You're a coward, Ellie. Ellie Savage, you're a coward, and you represent Washtenaw County. You turned your back on this family, and this ain't no PR that Bill didn't pay me for this. You know, I already know how I feel about this. You're wrong. You rolled on that family's tragedy.
Here's where I'm at with it. If you don't like me, that's fine. I don't give a shit. But I do feel, and you have much bigger issues with Eli Savage than myself right now. I mean, him and we're on each other's Christmas card list anymore, okay? Mm-hmm. And Victoria was somebody I always respect as a defense lawyer, and Wayne, I don't think she's a big fan of me anymore. But I will say this for the public and everybody listening. The whole point of the movement this summer was about the Grady L tragedy. And things changed in this community based on elections, based on perception of how that tragedy was perceived. And now to not be working as a team is really, it at least gives the appearance of being hypocritical. The family literally put Savage signs in their front yard because they believed in his message. So when they say, well, it's Dana Nestle's call, well, let's stop. Come on. Let's stop.
Right. If
we really want to work as a team, we can't prosecute Black people getting beaten by police officers. Can't do that, guys. Come on. It's wrong on so many levels. And I'm saying that as a successful white man, not as a white savior, but as somebody who knows, you know what, Ty? Me and my wife wouldn't have been in that situation.
No.
We would have shown our bar cards, and that would have been the end of things.
Right. Them cops would have went home.
That's not right. It's not right. So I'm not going to trash Eli and Victoria. What I'm going to say is I'm disappointed that we're not working as a team, and I'm still hoping we can. But you know what? If we can't, I'm going to do my fucking job. I've been doing my job. It's not right to be in this situation. And what I can't, don't want to speak for Dan and Shatina, but I could tell you, I feel they're used. There were so many hot mic moments this summer. My God.
Yeah. But I show, like I said, I feel real bad that they was even left out there like that. You know, I mean, he should have fought a little hard for him, or Victoria. son Victoria, hey, look here. I ain't saying do the hypocritical thing like you're doing now. I'm saying at least you could have been like, nah, it's not something we want to entertain because it's a black eye on our county.
How's it good for Washington County for these people to
It's
be
not.
in the trial?
It's not. And then the protesters, really, the protesters minus the leaders of the protesters. If you think about all you folks that was out there protesting, and you was out there protesting and listening to the speeches, the lovely speeches that the sheriff department, the lovely speeches that the blocks and this and that and the other, and you got it on camera, like I got it on camera. And if you think about it, all those people that came out, y'all should be outraged too, because y'all was out there for the Grady L family too. I mean, stopping traffic.
Yeah.
Stopping Carpenter and Washtenaw, police snipers on the roof, stuff like that. Y'all remember that shit? Y'all should be mad too.
I'll put this in public eye right now. I've heard a lot of stuff from Trisha Duckworth and blah, blah, blah. Anybody listening, Trisha, Dana Nessel, whoever. If there's another lawyer that can make peace for the Grady L's, I will step away from this case right now. If there's somebody with more political capital that can bring peace to this family and stop this tragedy, I will gladly hand over the reins. Because I kept hearing this is about me. This is not about me. This is about this family. I'm not going to argue who's a better lawyer and who's not. I think everybody's got their opinion of who I am and whatever. This is about Washtenaw County. And if somebody is a better fit for this case that's going to make this go away, let me know. Because I don't ever want to be the reason this family's suffering more. Right now, I'm fighting like hell for them. But if you're telling me there's somebody behind door number 2 who could just make a call to Dana Nessel, take all the credit in the world. But it's about the family, not me.
Right.
So why is this not happening? You know, it's funny. When Bobby Reyes was dying, Washtenaw is a funny place sometimes in the legal community. There's some great lawyers in Washtenaw, man. But when Bobby Reyes was dying, I got involved in that case. I begged for help from members of the probate community. And 12 of them told me, well, you can't go against U of M, not in Washtenaw County. That sounds like a dictatorship, not a democracy.
Yes, it does.
And it seems like people will fight for a cause when it's convenient to fight for a cause without realizing that cause is 365 days a fucking year. It's not when the cameras are on. This woman was beaten nearly to death. This man who was unarmed was tased. And because they were standing near a house where the police that have probable cause to go into, they got attacked. What the fuck are we doing?
It's crazy.
Where are we at with this?
That's crazy.
And that moment in time, that tragedy was very powerful for several months. And then,
yep.
Well, thank you. Have a nice day.
Let's put this on the back of the election. Election over. Crickets.
They need your help, guys. And they sure as hell helped you.
Or they don't feel they obligated to help.
It's a tough way to live, Ty.
Yeah, it is, bro.
Man, tough way to live.
Yeah, it is. Well, we're going to take some different energy in 2022 and do some bigger and better things, man. We're not going to let up on it.
I feel you.
We're not going to let up on. I mean, maybe we need to do a public letter writing campaign and send her a bunch of letters and let her know, hey, because she seems to not want to answer emails.
Who, Dana Nessel?
Yeah. Her office as a joke. I ain't gonna lie. The only thing she can do, plan a lie. That's it. That's a joke. You supposed to be for all us, lady, but you don't like to do interviews.
Yeah.
Don't be scared of little old me. I ain't nothing. I thought you knew.
Touch base this week.
Oh yeah, for sure, Bill. And Matt MIL. He's good.
Matt will be back in town tomorrow. He's just getting
Okay.
back. He was visiting relatives.
All right, I'm glad he all right. And tell
He's good.
everybody at the office I said what's happening. And stay COVID free.
Yep, you too, my friend.
And thank you, man. And we'll do it again. This was fun. We need to do this more often.
I'm in.
And Trovius, we need to get him on the show because we got to reschedule.
Yeah, the world needs to know that Trovius Starr is a fucking badass criminal defense lawyer.
I'm trying to get him on the show.
All right.
Him and Ariane, because I know we're going to light up the viewers.
Yeah, I feel
all right.
All right.
Thanks again, Bill.
Talk to you soon, man. Bye.
All right, y'all. Peace.